Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to each of you as you come into the main sanctuary this morning and take your seats. We're very grateful and honored that we can be here together in person to celebrate this day of rest. This day of rest. This day of rest, which enables us to create a separation from all that may have occurred during the week and spend time in prayer and reflection, grateful to God for the gifts of this day. We're also so honored to be able to come together as a congregational family as we celebrate Hogan being called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah. We're so pleased to welcome his family and friends who are here today. I'd like to invite Hogan's friends, please, to come and join us, those of you who are in the far distant, to come and join the rest of the congregation with your friends here so that you can participate fully in our service this morning by finding your seats, taking hold of a prayer book so that you and everyone here can participate in our prayers both in Hebrew and English throughout our service. And in addition, perhaps look at the commentary at the bottom of each page to assist you in your understanding of our prayers this morning. I'd like to also remind everyone here who has brought a cell phone with them to please refrain from using them during the service for any text messaging or picture taking.
This morning we will begin with the last of the Psalms in our traditions book of Psalms, the 150th Psalm attributed to King David. This poem has been set to music more times than we can count in every generation. And so this morning we will be excited as Hogan adds his melody to our Jewish tradition. You can find the words on page 188. You don't need to sing along with all of the Hebrew. There's going to be a refrain of just the words, Hallelujah.
בקודשו, הללו ברכיה עוזו, הללו בגבורותיו, הללו קרוב גודלו. וכינור, הללו בצוף ומחול, הללו במינים ועוגה. לתרועה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, כל הנשמה תהלליה.
We continue on page 77.
Don't let me fall as a stone falls upon the hard ground, and don't let my hands become dry as the twigs of a tree when the wind beats down the last leaves, and when the storm raises dust from the earth with anger and howling. Don't let me become the last fly, trembling, terrified on a window pane. Don't let me fall. I have asked for so much, but as a blade of your grass in a distant wild field lets drop a seed in the lap of the earth and dies away. Sow in me your living breath, as you sow a seed in the earth. Please turn to page 108 for our call to worship Baruch Hu. Please rise.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvoreh choshe oseh shalom uvoreh et hakol hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barahamim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam bechokma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, va'al me'orei, or sha'asita yifarucha salah, or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. We continue on page 112. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Together, gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praised be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher be'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Page 114.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam
Please be seated. Page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We read together in the middle of the page. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please turn to page 120. For us, this eternal teaching is true and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good, and beautiful. The God of the universe is truly our sovereign, the rock of Jacob, our protecting shield. God endures through all generations. God's name persists. God's throne is firm. God's sovereignty and faithfulness last forever. God's words live and endure, faithful and precious for eternity. Together. From Egypt you redeemed us, freeing us from bondage. For that your beloved sang praise. Exalting you, your dear ones offered hymns, songs, praise, blessing, and thanksgiving to you as sovereign, the living and enduring God. High and exalted, great and awesome, God ever humbles the proud, raises the lowly, frees the imprisoned, redeems the afflicted, helps the oppressed, answering our people when we cry out. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. In great joy, Moses, Miriam, and Israel responded with song to you, all of them proclaiming,
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef melech, shira chadasha shibchu geulim, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדחי נאומך, יהודה וישראל. גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל.
Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel, and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. We continue now with our tefillah on pages 124, 126, and 128. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, Ve'zocher Hashte Avot Ve'imaot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'aman l'talech hayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. We read together in the middle of page 128. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Page 130.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Page 132.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת כולם יספעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallows Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. We continue reading together on page 134. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 136. Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer and love. May the worship of your people, Israel, always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Page 138. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, ve'imotenu leolam va'ed. Tzor chayenu, magen yishenu, atahu lador vador. Nodeh lecha, unesaper tehilatecha. Al hayenu hamesurim beyadecha. Va'al nishmotenu hapakudot lach. Va'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu. Va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebechol et erev vavoker v'tzochoraim. Hatov ki lo chalu rachamaycha v'chamerachem ki lo tamu hasadecha me'olam kivinu lach. Va'al kulam yitbarach ve'yitromam shimcha malkenu tamid leolam va'ed. V'chol chachaim yoducha selah v'halilu et shimcha be'emet ha'el yeshuatenu ve'ezratenu salah. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We read together in the middle of the page. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Page 140. Grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us, and to all your people Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence, truly, through the light of your presence, Adonai our God. You gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people Israel at all times, at every hour, with your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha shalom, tova uveracha, sim shalom, tova uveracha.
We pray silently.
Say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
In our prayer book now, we turn to page 244 as we prepare for the reading of Torah. Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai ve'ein kamasecha malchutcha malchut kol olamim umamshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz le'emo yiten, Adonai varech et amo v'ashalom. There is none like you among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will bless our people with peace. It is a joy now to open the doors of the Holy Ark in honor of Wendy and Andy Bernstein and Leslie Margolis and Josh Paul, and to undress the Torah in a moment in honor of Ellen and Adam Joseph. And now as we turn to page 248, we rise.
Av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Tzion tivnei chomot Yerushalayim
Havugod el Eloheinu, unuchavo la Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adoneinu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, unerom ema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, vehagevura, vehatiferet, vehanetzach, vehaod. Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz, ki chol bashamayim uvaretz. Adonai hamamlacha, ve'amit naseh bechol rosh.
On this Shabbat morning, our Torah reading comes from the book of Leviticus, beginning in chapter 19, verse 1, in the portion called Kedoshim. And it's a privilege to call to the Torah now to recite the blessings, giving thanks to God for the gift of Torah. Bernie Fuchs, Ryan Joseph, Avery Joseph, Hudson Zach. Please come forward.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. And Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor. Daber El Kol Adat Bnei Yisrael Ve'amarta Alehem Kedoshim Tiyu Ki Kadosh Ani Adonai Elohehem Ish Imo Ve'aviv Tira'u Ve'et Shabbatotai Tishmoru Ani Adonai Elohechem Al Tivnu El Ha'elilim Ve'lohei Masecha Lo Ta'asu Lachem Ani Adonai Elohechem Ve'chi Tizbechu Zevach Shlamim Ladonai Lirtzonechem Tizbechu ביום זבחכם יאכל וממחרת והנותר עד יום השלישי באש יישרף.
Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata tzedkenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We invite to the Torah Jennifer and Ron Zach, Rosalind and Ricky Heiken, Helena and Isaac to share in the blessing as we give thanks once more to God for the gift of Torah on this special day.
Ya'amod lev the aliyah la Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. ואם היכול יאכל ביום השלישי פיגול הוא לא ירצה ואוכליו עוונו יישא כי את קודש אדוני הלל ונכרתה הנפש ההיא מימיך ובקוצרכם את קציר ארצכם לא תכלה פאת שריך לקצור ולקט קצירך לא תלקט וכרמך לא תעולל ופרת כרמך לא תלקט לעוני ולגר תעזוב אותם אני אדוני אלוהיכם לא תגנובו ולא תכחשו ולא תשקרו איש בעמיתו ולא תשבו בשמי לשקר והיללת את שם אלוהיך אני אדוני. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And it's a privilege to address the Torah this morning in honor of Ellen and Adam Joseph.
Our Haftorah comes from Amos chapter 9, verses 7 through 9. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nevi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah v'Moshe avdo v'Yisrael amo uv'nevi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Halo chivnei chushim atem li Bnei Yisrael ne'um Adonai. Halo et Yisrael he'eleti me'eret Mitzrayim uflishti mikaftor va'aram mikir. Hinei einei Adonai Elohim b'mamlecha cha'ata v'hishmareti ota ma'al panei ha'adama efes ki lo hashmid et Beit Yaakov ne'um Adonai. Ki hinei anochi metzaveh v'hanioti v'hol hagoyim et Beit Yisrael ka'asher yinoa b'kavara v'lo yipol tzoror aretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al haTorah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nevi'im v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likidusha v'limenucha lechavod u'letifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim ota Yitbarach Shimcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
My Torah portion, Kiddushim, teaches us to live our lives with holiness. So, what does it mean to be holy? Holiness means different things to many different people. Some people believe that simply following the 10 Commandments is being holy. My Torah portion, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 says, Ve'ahavta le'reyecha kamocha, which means, love thy neighbor as thyself. Others say, follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against members of your people or contemporaries. And you shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger, for I, the Eternal, am your God. Wow. These examples spoke to me, and let me dive into how this relates to me and what my family has taught me in my life. I have learned that everything happens for a reason, and receiving this portion is one of them. I have learned so many important lessons and relate to so many of the examples in my everyday life. Love your neighbor as thyself, and do for others as you would have others do for you. The golden rule. So, as the middle child, or as my mom calls me, her kangaroo, I have always found myself trying to be a bit of a crowd pleaser. I give in a lot to my siblings, and certainly know I'm the one trying to console or compromise, and oftentimes giving in when I really don't want to. As I've gotten older, I for sure have tested boundaries. and I seek out fights. I display my big boy emotions even when I know I poked the bear first, and I seek out fights when I know I'm the one that normally unifies. Every time my parents say to me, "Hoagie Bear, what happened to our sweet, loving, optimistic team leader?" And I've had to often reflect on this and realize that my siblings will always be my best friends, will always have my back, and I need to always prove to them that I will do the same. Do unto others, family first, and respect everyone you come to meet, are a few mottos my family have instilled in me. And I promise, as I mature and now that I am becoming a man, I will do my part and continue my family values. As most of you know, I really love sports. I love playing sports, I love watching sports, and I love talking about sports. I'm an intense player who tends to beat myself up when I don't perform well, because I feel like as a leader, it is my job to help the team succeed. Whether it's fist bumping a teammate for making a big play, cheering on my teammate for hitting it out of the park, or hugging my teammate because their game didn't go as they wanted. Sportsmanship is my jam. However, my passion can sometimes be in question. What I do know is that I try every day to be a positive leader that shows support for others. Being a leader, you cannot react negatively because it does shape the team dynamics. I should know. My dad has coached me for years and has had no problem benching me for an inning because I was hard on myself or a teammate for missing a play. My pops, dad, Uncle A, and countless baseball coaches have reminded me to always do your job for your team, be a positive influence, and perhaps not throw a helmet because you strike out. It's a far better way to succeed on the field and off. Like I said earlier, I believe everything happens for a reason. I do love a stage, as you all know, so being able to share and reflect with all of you brings me so much joy. Have you met my family? I have had such amazing people in my life driving this path of respect, kindness to others, empathy for your community, and a sense of obligation to give back to those that are in need. My great-grandparents, Granny and Pa, set such a high example of that and so much more. They gifted that to my grandparents, my parents, and now to the three of us. Just like when God spoke to Moses, I know my granny is watching over this right now, making sure I do the right thing, offer food to everyone in this room, and provide mitzvah to anyone in need. I promise to continue my family traditions of giving back to my community, taking leadership roles when I can, and using my voice for good. I challenge you here today to make my granny proud and do the same. So what does being holy mean to me? Being holy to me means being kind, check, being respectful of others, check, being a good friend, check, putting family first, check, and of course, never losing my cool on the baseball field. Well, not quite a check yet. The bottom line, it seems to me, is that if I try to treat the people in my life with love and respect, then God will say, check, to Hogan, Zach is holy. I have so many people to thank for getting me here today. To Rabbi Lyon, Rabbi Scott, Mr. Mason, and my pal Debbie. Thank you for your guidance and no doubt patience with me during this process. I would not be here today without your incredible support. This place is home to me, and I can't thank you all enough for making it so special for my family and me. Our visiting cantor, Isaac. I know we have only met one time in Israel, but don't worry, my Mimi has told me all about our family history, and I'm proud to call you my cousin. Thank you for taking time to be here with us this weekend and sharing the pulpit with really great people. Having you here makes my family smile big. To my camp family, Fuzzin family, teammates, and all of my friends here today. Each of you means so much to me. The memories and the stories, some that can be shared and some that cannot, will never be forgotten. What happens at camp stays at camp. The appreciation I have for each of you is way bigger than anything I can say in this speech. Thank you for supporting me. To my Uncle David, Aunt Alma, Lincoln, and Alina. I love sharing holidays, birthdays, and special times together. I always know it will be fun and entertaining when we are together. I look forward to sharing many more memories with you. To my Al and Uncle A. There's not a memory in my memory bank that doesn't have you in it. Thank you for being at everything, including catching me in the delivery room when I was born. Whether on the stage, on the field, or even on the slopes, I love when we are all together, laughing, telling funny jokes, and listening to Uncle A give me his words of wisdom. I love you. Ryan, I love spending time with you, whether cuddling with our gloves, throwing a ball, or sitting in your passenger seat. I've always looked up to you and will always continue to do so. I love you. Avery, I know how great you think the second child is, and I think you're right. Sharing life with you is always a trip, literally. Traveling, hanging out, and letting me play volleyball with you are just a few things I love doing with you. I look forward to driving you crazy for years to come. I love you. Saba and Safta, thank you for being such amazing grandparents. You've taken us to every museum at least 10 times and shared stories from your life and travels in Israel and Poland and so many more cool places. I love it when you take us out on our birthdays and make us feel so special. I hope I made you proud with my ivrit today. I love you. Mimi, my biggest cheerleader. Thank you for being there at every musical, every school event, so many of my baseball games, well, only when they didn't count, and volunteering for everything I do to make sure it has your special touch. You are the Lego Grandmaster, and how cool is it that my Mimi Lego's better than any kid I know? You're the coolest, and I'm so lucky you are my Mimi. I love you. Pops, since I am your mini me, I just want to say thank you for your incredible gene pool. We look pretty good today, right? I love seeing you behind the plate and always telling me to swing at the first pitch, even though my coach tells me not to. And Pops, remember what we always say. It's better to have loved and lost than to have never have loved at all. I love you. Hudson and Harper, I love having a big brother and love having a little sister. I always know that I will never lose a tug of war being in the middle. Hudson, you have paved the path I've always admired. And Harper, you have made me so proud with your ability to fit right in with the two of us. Hudson, although both of us love sports and are pretty darn good at it, looks like our baby sister is going to outplay us. She has us to thank, though, for teaching her all of her skills. Being your brother is the best gift our parents ever gave me. I love you both. Mom and Dad, what can I say to the two people that brought me into this world? Thank you for that, by the way. And your support of me each and every day. Mommy, you have a way to make me feel loved, protected, and comfortable with who I am. I know I can always count on you to be the leader of my fan club. I love you. Dad, there isn't an activity or sport I have participated in that didn't have you right by my side. Your intense love for me, and of course my game playing, is something I cherish every day. Thank you both for your unconditional love, even though I don't always make it easy. And last, but certainly not least, I have to thank my pa. You have been the rock of our family for my whole life, and way before that. Thank you, Pa, for being such a cool great-grandpa, and for setting such a great example for me to follow. I hope that I have made you proud. I love you. God, thank you for this amazing day that you have brought to my family and me. Shabbat Shalom.
Hogan, what a beautiful day. We are dwelling. We are just overflowing with joy for all that you've prepared to do and all that you have done. You are, as you said in your speech, you are a crowd pleaser. You really did it. You really pleased us all. Most of all, you pleased yourself, you pleased God, the Jewish community. And Hogan, your Torah portion could not have been more perfect for you. Kiddoshim to you, you shall be holy in the future suggests, as the rabbis taught, that not only are you holy right now, set apart for very special purpose, but throughout your life, through all the mitzvot and the deeds that you'll do, you shall continue to understand what it means to be set apart for very special purpose. And we got a wonderful glimpse into what it means to you already. Your affection for baseball and sports, I'm going to have to be tutored by you to learn all about sports because you clearly know so much about it. But if baseball is your thing, and from the look of the other room I know that it is, you might also reflect on the shape of this room. For some people, it takes on a very special symbolism because the shape of this room really looks like a baseball field. And if you want to think about it, that's home plate. And if you can return to that place and find the Torah there, I'm sure that you're going to hit a home run every time you step up to bat and make your effort and do your thing, because you've already demonstrated to us that you understand the weight of this day and the responsibilities that continue to fall on your able shoulders. But Hogan, what is also important about the holiness that you're demonstrating, the way you hold yourself up to a very high standard to do things in special ways, is by acknowledging all the people who are on your team, your family and friends who are here, those who are live streaming, and especially your immediate family and your extended family. Now, Hogan, I have the privilege to have served this congregation long enough to know your family very, very well. Your grandparents are very special people, and within the context of this congregation, your grandmother, Roz, the president of our board of trustees, has served so ably during a very trying time in our world and our congregation. But she hasn't taken her eye off the prize either. How many times, Roz, have you said, Hogan's bar mitzvah is coming? It's going to be the momentous occasion that we need in the life of our congregation and the family too. And we've accomplished so much to be grateful for. And your great-grandfather has been for so many a leader, a role model, and an example. So it's nice of you to acknowledge that as great as you are today, and you are stellar, that the people who have come before you have allowed you to understand what matters most and what will continue to matter most in the future. And I appreciate, too, that you acknowledge your new cousin, Isaac, whose voice and presence and future, too, is a part of the joy that we've celebrated today. Hogan, I would say, perhaps as one of your coaches has said, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on where you're heading in the future. Keep your eye on the importance of a mitzvah to make a difference not only for yourself, that's important to do, but for others who are touched by your life. For those who are doing great things like your teammates, those fist bumps and hugs and pats on the shoulders are so important, to lift people up where they belong and because they've done something great. And for those who are down and who have less and struggle more, your heart and your hands have already demonstrated to us that you're able to lift them up to give them what they deserve. Hogan, this day means so much to you and to all of us, and you have earned everything that you've come here to celebrate with us, and we're very grateful. Jennifer and Ron, how grateful you could be, how proud you could be of your son. And I am too, because a day school student who continues to learn his Judaism and do his Hebrew so well has earned everything that we've come here to celebrate. And what a voice, too, to sing and chant as you've done. I don't know if you're going to be a rabbi, but maybe a cantor when you're done being a professional baseball player. Okay. Hogan, in honor of all that you've accomplished today, and I know all that you will continue to celebrate in the future, I want to share with you these gifts from the congregation. A Kiddush cup from our sisterhood that you can take home and raise at your Sabbath table and on special occasions to sanctify those moments. This is a certificate for $250 from the Reformed Jewish Movement. It isn't for baseball equipment. I'm so sorry. But it can be used to help pay for a trip to Israel in high school or college, to go back to where it all began, and to discover not only our history and a sense of peoplehood, but also to discover the ingenuity and innovation of our people in Israel, and of course to come home to continue to be a leader in our congregation and to help our Jewish people grow right here at home. And this, Hogan, is your bar mitzvah certificate. It says that you were called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah at Congregation Beth Israel and read and chanted and taught from the very special portion called Kiddushim. Mazel tov to you. And now I'm delighted to call on Rabbi Scott and Isaac to come forward as we invite you to turn and face the Holy Ark behind me, so that we can extend to you today the blessing of old, that it may go well with you now and for many, many years to come.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Ken yehi ratzon Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's presence shine upon you and always be gracious to you.
Ken yehi ratzon Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God grant you, Hogan, all that you wish for yourself, all that your family and friends wish for you too. May it be long life, mitzvah, and the greatest blessing of all, a lifetime to live in peace.
Ken yehi ratzon Ken yehi ratzon Ken yehi ratzon.
Amen. Beautiful. You can be seated. And now, as we prepare to return the Torah to the Holy Ark, we open the doors of the Holy Ark in honor of Alma and Amir Zach. As we raise the Torah now, we rise. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai ki nizgav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of the Lord, for God's name alone is exalted.
Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar teracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem.
In our prayer book, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287, and we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goyei haratzot, velo samanu ki mishpachot adama, shelo samechelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. V'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad. Uv'shemo echad.
Please remain standing.
We turn now to page 294. And as we do, we call to heart and to mind all of our loved ones who have departed this earth and gone on to the peace of life eternal. And on this Shabbat, we are especially thinking of those members of Hogan's family. Lovingly, we remember those whose spirit is with us. Sally Fuchs, Mauda Fuchs, Yetta Fuchs, Joseph Fuchs, Molly Politzer, Joseph Politzer, Josie Heiken, Mike Heiken, Roxanne Heiken Meyerson, Alexander Meyerson, Robbie Rissman, Marvin Kaplan, Michael Shiner, Edmund Morgenstern, Miriam Levney, Asher Zach, Mark Morgenstern, Yanina Morgenstern, Avi Zach. In each of their honor and their memory, we join together now in the words of Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei tehol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran v'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Hoseh shalom v'ramav, v'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and bring comfort to all of the bereaved among us, as together we all say, Amen. Please be seated. At this time in our service, our formal prayers have ended, but our blessings continue. So I'd like to invite Hogan to come forward, this time with your parents, Jennifer and Ron, so that they may share some special words with you.
Hogan, I'm so proud of how well you did today, but more importantly, I'm so proud of the young man you have become. You're hardworking, warm, and a caring brother and son. When I first laid eyes on you, I could just tell that you were going to have the biggest heart. This is why your middle name is Lev, which means heart in Hebrew. You have lived up to that name and much more. You've had to go with the flow, being the middle child to an older brother and a younger sister. You're always willing to play and compete with your older brother Hudson, but will still play with slime or anything that your younger sister Harper asks of you, even if you don't really want to. Your work ethic in school, on the field, or court are top-notch. I don't know anyone that wants it more than you. Your passion and big heart are contagious. Continue to gear that in the right direction, and all of your dreams will come true, whether it's in school, sports, or business in the future. As your dad, this makes me feel like we did something right, but this is in you, and don't ever change being who you are. I admire it every day. We love you.
Hogan, we are in the room where it happens. You did it. Hoagie, my middle, my heart, my kangaroo, and my passionate sportsman, and my thespian. Some would say you're a Renaissance man. I just say you're our Hoagie Bear. This is all you. Since the day you could walk, you threw a ball. Since the day you could speak, you would sing. And the first time you played on a team, you cheer for your teammates. Now, don't get me wrong. Your passion for the good parts is just as strong for the not so good parts. But one thing we all know, your heart, like your middle name, is as big as Texas. And we are so grateful for the young man you're becoming. There may be a million things you haven't done yet, but just you wait. And I know I can't wait to see all that you're going to do. Every morning before I drop you at school, I say 3 things. Be kind and respectful, focus in the classroom, and always be a good friend. As you have navigated your early years at the Schlenker School, all sorts of baseball teams, summers at camp, and a new school during COVID, you have shown us such growth, strong determination to do well in the classroom and on the field, and you have such an open heart to meeting new friends and maintaining the old ones. One of my favorite things to do with you is sing on the way to school. Everyone in this room today knows I cannot carry a tune. But when the music of Hamilton comes on, a little Bruno maybe, or even the Beatles, you sing with gusto, with a love to perform and an eagerness to get better and better. This is how you are in everything you do. If you have a bad game, it's more reps in the cage. If you have made a bad grade, it's morning tutorials to improve it. If your voice cracks or you mess up on the lyrics, you sing the same song until you get it right. I love your heart, Hogan, and just by the sound of your performance today, your ability to show you is the best gift you have given us. I hope we live to hear your story, Hoagie. You are for sure going to be something big. I pray to God every day that you continue your love of the game, your strong work ethic in school, and remember our core family values of family first and friends first too. Thank you all for those watching on live stream today. Thank you to all of you joining us in person. We finally made it to the room where it happens. Hogan, look around. Look around. How lucky we are to be alive right now. To those in memory, we miss you deeply. Bear, look for a rainbow today. I know Granny is watching you here today saying, I love you more each day, much more than words can say. And the more I know of you, I love you. And remember, never ever give up your shot. Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful words of blessing. We'd like to ask Hudson and Harper, please, to come forward, as well as cousins, so that we can enjoy our blessings over our wine and challah together.
And so we can join together. Let's rise as Hogan will lead us in the blessing over the wine and challah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. And the blessing over the challah, Hogan.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos.